All right, let's talk about Evelyn Hugo. She's a Hollywood icon, a legend, and she's about to auction off her most famous gowns. But that's just the cover story. What she's really ready to do is tell her story, the whole unvarnished truth. And it all kicks off with one very specific, very strange request.
So, I want you to picture this. You're a writer named Monique Grant, plugging away at a magazine. You're talented, sure, but you're not exactly a household name. Then, out of the blue, the one and only Evelyn Hugo, we're talking a star on the level of Elizabeth Taylor, insists that you, and only you, are going to write her life story. Your boss is confused, you're floored. I mean, this is the break of a lifetime. But you can't shake the question. Why me? What gives?
Because, get this, Evelyn isn't just offering an interview. Oh no, she's offering a confession. She's ready to spill everything, the real stories behind all 7 of her husbands, her claw your way to the top rise to fame, and the one secret she guarded her entire life. It's a full-on tell-all biography. The only catch? It can't be published until after she dies. So yeah, this isn't just a story, it's a time bomb.
To really get who Evelyn Hugo is, you have to understand who she was. We gotta go back to the beginning, before the world knew her name. Before there was an Evelyn Hugo, there was a young woman named Evelyn Herrera.
And this right here, this is the core of her invention. On one side, you have Evelyn Herrera. She's the daughter of Cuban immigrants, growing up poor in Hell's Kitchen, absolutely desperate to get away from her controlling father and a future that felt like a dead end. On the other side, you have Evelyn Hugo. She's a total studio creation, a blonde bombshell with perfect teeth and a backstory that was completely made up. She literally erased her own Cuban heritage because a producer thought Hugo sounded more glamorous.
She was just relentless. Every single marriage was a calculated chess move. Her first husband, Ernie Diaz, he was just a ride to Hollywood. That's it. Once she got there, she caught the eye of a producer named Harry Cameron. And you're going to want to remember that name. He told her to change her name, so she did. He told her to get a more famous boyfriend, so she divorced Ernie and started a very public romance with a movie star. And guess what? It worked. Her career just exploded. But here's the thing. All those headlines, all those strategic husbands, that was just the show. Behind the curtain, the real story of Evelyn's life was taking shape, the one that would dictate every decision she made from then on, the one she hid for 50 years.
And it all came down to one person. Celia St. Now, Celia was everything Evelyn wasn't, this incredibly talented girl-next-door type. She was also Evelyn's biggest rival for a role in Little Women. At first, Evelyn just saw her as the competition, another problem to solve. But that rivalry, it turned into something so much deeper. It became the anchor of her entire life.
This quote is amazing. It's from the night Little Women premiered. Evelyn's watching the movie and she realizes Celia's performance is just breathtaking, way better than her own. And in that moment, when she should have been jealous, should have been crushed, she's not. She's smiling. She's just bursting with pride for Celia. And that's when it hits her. This isn't friendship. She's in love with Celia St. And that, right there, becomes the central conflict of her entire life. We're talking 1950s, 1960s Hollywood. Being in a relationship with another woman wasn't just a scandal, it was career suicide, total annihilation. So for the rest of her life, she's stuck with this impossible choice: keep the empire she clawed her way to the top to build, or be with the only person she ever truly loved.
So what do you do? How do you even survive that? Well, they were forced into hiding. To protect themselves from a world that would have absolutely destroyed them, Evelyn and Celia, along with a couple of trusted friends, they built this incredible, elaborate fortress of secrets. And their plan was just brilliant. I mean, check this out. Evelyn marries her best friend, the producer Harry Cameron. Meanwhile, Celia marries this guy named John Braverman. To the outside world, they looked like 2 happy, straight couples, America's sweethearts on a double date. But the truth, the secret behind the secret, Harry and John were in love. And of course, Evelyn and Celia were in love. They were all hiding in plain sight.
And the wildest part is, for a long time, it actually worked. They built a real family together. Evelyn and Harry even had a daughter, Connor, who was raised by all 4 of them as her parents. Tucked away from the world, they found this little pocket of true happiness.
But that happiness cost them a lot. Evelyn says, looking back, her single greatest regret wasn't the lying. It was the time she lost. Every single moment she put her career, her public image, ahead of just loving Celia out in the open, it was a moment she'd regret for the rest of her life. It's just a brutal reminder of what fame really cost her. Which brings us right back to where we started. Back to Monique, sitting in Evelyn Hugo's ridiculously luxurious apartment, listening to all this. Because there's one last secret, the one that connects everything, the one that finally answers the question, why Monique? It all comes down to one absolutely tragic night. Years down the road, John Braverman dies of a heart attack. Harry Cameron, his partner, is just shattered. He gets drunk, gets in his car, and crashes. The driver of the other car is killed instantly. Harry himself dies in the hospital a few hours later. It's just an unbelievable tragedy. But that is not the whole story. See, Evelyn got to the crash site before the police did, and she knew that a DUI scandal would ruin Harry's reputation forever and tarnish her daughter's memory of her father. So she made a choice, an unthinkable one. She pulled Harry's body out of the driver's seat and put the other man, the innocent man who died, behind the wheel of Harry's car. She framed him to save Harry. And this is what she tells Monique. This entire book, this whole confession, it's for a reason. She says she chose Monique specifically because she believes Monique is the only person who could possibly understand the nuance, the heartbreak, and the moral disaster of what she did. But there is one last piece of the puzzle. That innocent man, the one who died that night, the man whose entire legacy Evelyn destroyed to protect her own family, his name was James Grant. He was Monique's father. And that's it. That's the reason. The whole book, the fame, the millions of dollars it will make for Monique, it's all an apology. It's Evelyn's penance for a lie that completely defined Monique's entire life without her ever knowing it. And that's what we're left with. Evelyn Hugo was brilliant, she was ambitious, she was fiercely loving. But she was also ruthless and manipulative. She built an incredible life protecting the people she loved, but that protection destroyed an innocent man and his family. So it makes you wonder, right? Where do you draw the line between protecting your own and doing something truly unforgivable? And is it even possible to separate the dazzling legend from the dark choices that made her?